If Hannah and Segan were talking about Emma and Emma asked Hannah and she blatantly denied it, I wonder if the Ali fans would be as quick to defend her. Big Brother UK episode 32, Ali and Hannah were on the sofas talking about relationships, and Ali was saying you should always go with your gut feeling, and she was speaking a bit about why she doesn't have any kids. I've briefly discussed this with friends and I've never mentioned it on a video because it's a very personal thing, but I've often wondered if one of the reasons why Ali and Lily were so close is because Lily acted like a child and perhaps Ali is really maternal and she wants to have a child. Now, I don't like to just assume that of women because not all women want kids. I never wanted kids and I don't have a maternal bone in my body, but obviously she does. And actually, the way she was with Lily, even though Lily was a 20-year-old woman, she seems as if she would be like just a fucking amazing mum. But the other reason I thought she might be so close to Lily is because she spoke about losing her brother and stuff like that. But these are very personal things that you don't really want to be talking about on videos. But since she was talking about it to Hannah, I thought I would just bring it up. So maybe if she won the show, she would put the money towards that. Or maybe she'll just go travelling. Emma was speaking to Baked Potato and Nathan about Ali and Lily talking about her on eviction night. And she says, I'm just going to ask her. So, when she took her into the garden and she asked her, Ali blatantly denied it. So there was a clip of this on TikTok and I had commented and says, oh, Ali's got a selective memory all of a sudden. And people were saying, oh, do you remember every single thing you say? And I says, well, no, but if it was literally the night before and somebody mentioned it to me, then I would likely remember. It's not as if it was a week ago. Ali then went into the diary room and said we weren't talking about Emma, not in a bad way anyway. Now, whether you believe that she remembered talking about Emma or not is one thing, but let's actually think about this for a second. If Hannah and Segan were talking about Emma and Emma asked Hannah and she denied it, the Ali fans would not be defending her. They would be like, that, oh, she's a shite bag, she doesn't want to say anything, she's so two-faced. Just imagine this. Imagine they were talking about Ali and Ali confronted Hannah. Oh my god, the place would be in a fucking uproar. People would be like, oh, Hannah doesn't want to admit it because she's scared of Ali because she knows Ali's so smart, blah, 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 blah. It's always double standards. I'm just using Hannah as an easy example here, but as we've seen in the past, Hannah's raised her voice defending herself and people have called her aggressive. When other people raised their voices, pointed at people and called them weird, they weren't labelled as aggressive because it's double standards. I've made a video about this woman before, but she makes videos that's the psychology of Big Brother and she talks about different housemates. And in this specific video, she talks about Ali and how she's a silent assassin and she knows exactly what she's doing. Now, I'm only somebody who's had a keen interest in social experiments, human behaviour, mind control. I've wrote papers about it, I've watched many documentaries, read the books and whatever else, but I'm not an expert at the end of the day. I can only share my opinions. This woman is literally an expert, but people will still just not hear what she's got to say. I know a lot of people who are not Ali fans will say, oh, she's playing a game. I have got no problem with people going into Big Brother to play a game. I've got no problem with people going in to try to win the money. But in Big Brother USA and Canada, it's literally part of the game to lie to people, make alliances, talk about who you're going to vote for. But in Big Brother UK, it's supposed to be you go in there and you just be yourself. Over the course of this season, I have read hundreds, if not thousands, of comments on my videos and other people's posts. And time again, I've seen, I'm voting for this person because they're from this country, because they're this religion, because they're this colour, because they're this sexuality, because they're neurodivergent. And I just think that is not a reason to vote for somebody. You see this all the time. You see it in Big Brother. You really notice it more in Big Brother because it's in a condensed time. But you see it in politics. You see it in the Eurovision Song Contest. You see it in anything where the public is going to vote. Once somebody has made a decision, they refuse to budge. And I get a lot of comments saying, oh, you flip-flop or you change your mind. That's because if I see somebody acting in a different way, then my opinion can change on them. And I don't mind sitting in front of the camera and saying, oh, by the way, I hated that person, but actually now they've grown on me, I think they're alright. I'm not just die hard, oh, I didn't like them, so I'm just going to fucking hate them till the end. In Big Brother UK, you only notice that the public is acting this way when you spend time reading comments or if you've got a lot of friends that watch Big Brother. However, it's more apparent in Big Brother USA because the housemates themselves will say, oh, I want to take you to the end because I want 2 women in the end. I want to take you to the end because I want 2 minorities representing at the end. And I think to myself, well, I would rather have 2 people at the end who have played the game well and who have done a good job. It shouldn't be to do with skin colour, religion, what state you're from, or anything like it. And it really drives me insane. This is a bit random, but it's just because it's recent world events. And somebody phoned into a podcast or a TV show or whatever it was, and they says to the guy, oh, if the UK government acted more like Trump, then we wouldn't be in the state we were in. And he said, oh, well, what policies are you talking about? And he says, oh, he's the man, he knows what he's doing. And he says, well, what policies in particular do you think that we should follow? And he was like, oh, well, I'm not really clued up in politics, I don't really know. So he just decided that he liked Trump, but he didn't know, he couldn't even name one of his policies. But he was so stuck in the fact that he'd now chosen that Trump is the man, that nothing can budge him. The same thing happens in religion. With the Eurovision Song Contest, you'll see people vote for their country, and if their country's not in it, they vote for the country next to them. It doesn't matter how shit the song is. It's just all about politics, and I wish that people would actually just sit back and go, do you know what, I loved that person to start off with, but they were in the wrong. Or, I loved that person to start off with, but now they're a total cunt and I've changed my mind. And it's okay to do that. I'm not asking anybody to hate Ali. I don't even hate Ali. But I just wish that people would open their eyes, and when somebody does something wrong, admit it, and don't just fucking fight for them to the death. So anyway, I went on a total rant there, but it just annoys me. So it was time to go into the vault, and Shagan got the gold envelope, and he had to choose 3 people to take in with him, and he chose Baked Potato, Nathan, and Ali. And originally I thought that somebody was going to be offered money to go, and I thought if Baked Potato goes in, she'll take the money and leave because she was getting booed. But as we've seen, it turned out that Shagan had to put money on who he thought was going to stay, and if they stayed, he would also get to keep the money. So at the time, I thought, right, Nathan is going. Nathan is 100% going. But it ended up being Baked Potato, and I thought, who the fuck is voting for Nathan to stay? Out of all the comments that I have received over the past couple of months, I've only had one that I can think of that says Nathan to win, and I only received it last night of the day. So of course people online were going nuts that Shagan chose Ali and Nathan, and Ali's like, oh, I'm being targeted in this house. What the fuck did you want him to do? He got told that somebody wasn't going to come back. Do you think that he was going to pick Hannah and Thomas to go in? Nobody would pick their friends to go in. Absolutely nobody would pick their friends to go in. Ali was speaking to Thomas, and she was saying that she felt like she was being targeted in the house. And later Emma was speaking to somebody, and she said it's not that we don't like Ali, it's just a case of who you like the least, who you're least friendly with. Obviously she's really close with Nathan, and Shagan's really close with Hannah and Thomas, so they've got groups of friends. Whereas Ali clung on to Lily. She defended her no matter what she done. Even when she was in the wrong, she defended her. And now she's wondering why she's being targeted. She's not friends with anybody in the house, so what's the point in keeping her around? And would you even want to be a friend? Because when Hannah was upset, Ali was nice enough to go over and comfort her and smooth things over with her, and you thought, oh, they're doing good now, everything's fine. And then Ali ended up nominating her. Fuck being friends with her. So the vote's open again tonight, and we don't know how it's going to work. But let's just say they were all in there. I think that Nathan and Thomas would go. I put my 5 votes on Hannah because when I actually think about the full season, she seems to be one of the only ones apart from Marcello who isn't an absolute shitebag when it comes to confronting people and just being honest about how they feel. Let me know in the comments who you think is going to go, and I'll see you again tonight. Bye!